Sally, there's a change to the latest toolkit from the Public Education Department regarding COVID-19 testing to stay in school, or sometimes described as test to play for student athletes. What is the new policy?
First off, let's go back to the old policy. The old policy of quarantine an unvaccinated student who was close contact in the classroom would must quarantine for 10 days, and they would not be able to practice or compete in any games. So this test to stay, and we're calling it test to play program, is that instead of quarantine for the unvaccinated student, if a student is close contact, they would be able to COVID test in an antigen test on day 1, day 3, and day 5. If they are negative and asymptomatic during that time, they would be able to continue to be in the classroom at school and to be able to participate in activities and athletics.
Does this change any overnight restrictions currently in place?
It does not change any overnight restrictions. Currently, the governor's COVID-safe practices through the Public Education Department, the unvaccinated student must be in a hotel room by themselves. The test to stay program does not change that. Even though that they are COVID testing on day 1, 3, and 5, it still is not changed the overnight stay.
Can a person use home testing kits instead of any test administered by the school?
They cannot. The test to stay program is supposed to be administered by the school. Now, as the school is getting going within the next 30 days, you're able to maybe go to a Walgreens or CVS or an outside entity, your primary care, to get an antigen COVID test. However, once the program is up and running, the testing must be done at the school district level.
Will tests be available for private schools?
Yeah, the Test to Stay program is available for not only public schools, charter schools, it is also for private schools. The private schools need to contact the Department of Health and make sure that they get their Test to Stay program up and running and certified as well.
What if no one is available to administer a test on that day 1 following close contact?
The Public Education Department, through the toolkit, has guidelines that if somebody is not there to test on day 1, that they would start their day 1 maybe on day 2. There are guidelines out there. However, it cannot be a situation where 5 days after close contact, all of a sudden we're starting day 1. So there are guidelines for the schools to make sure that the close contact day is day 0, the next day is day 1, and then we have day 3 and day 5. So all of those guidelines will be given to those student athletes, those students in the classroom from their school district.
With this new policy in place, what does that mean if a team cannot play because of COVID reasons? Is it still a forfeit?
We'll be taking to the commission and the board of directors as to what we do with winter sports because of this new Test to Stay program. In the fall sports, if there was somebody that had to forfeit or could not play a game due to COVID, we called it a no contest, where the game did not count. Now that we have protocols in place where we can keep kids in the classroom and playing, we will be taking to the commission and board that the winter sports, that they will be forfeits. We can, in these games, it's not football, it is basketball where there's like JV and varsities and there are kids that we can move up. If somebody does have to quarantine, then we can start moving kids up to continue to play that game. So we are very hopeful that we will not have any no contests due to this Test to Stay program. I also want to mention, JP, that this Test to Stay program is for close contact within the classroom. It is not for a close contact at home or a close contact in a social setting away from school. Those will be the same protocols that they have in place with the 10 days and actually the 20 days for a close contact at home. However, this is for a close contact within the school setting.
Lastly, with this new policy, are indoor sport participants still required to wear masks, and are spectators still required to wear masks?
This has not changed any mask requirement for the indoor sports. So yes, to answer your question, the sport of basketball, wrestling, spirit will all be mask wearing because they are indoor sports, and the spectators that are watching those games and those events will still have to wear masks. So this, the Test to Stay does not change anything when it comes to mask wearing or overnight stay. But one thing, JP, that we have to look at and we have to remember, we're starting winter sports. We just had our fall championships in cross country and soccer, and we're in the middle of football championships. Now we're starting winter sports. Last year at this time, we didn't get to play. And I think everybody's going to think about, oh, we don't want to wear masks, and we don't want to play with masks, and I don't want to go see my kid and I have to wear a mask. We need to go back and focus in on that we are playing. We are able to have a full season. The kids have full schedules. We are planning on our state championships for wrestling, in swimming and diving in February, and basketball in March. That is a full season. So masks or not, we need to go back and think of where we were last year and where we are this year, and we are playing New Mexico.